Guess who's back? Yeah. It's Dude and them, and we right back in the building, bringing you the latest in the news, hip-hop, sports, and entertainment. And we can definitely say 2024 is Katt Williams here. He started the year off with a bang, going viral on Club Shay Shay, exposing everybody in the industry, and he also just went viral on Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, Katt Williams is definitely showing everybody his intellect. Katt Williams is a very smart dude, and he is very calculated at the same time. I mean, him and Joe Rogan was awakening. Yeah. They had some kind of spiritual awakening. I mean, both of them was dropping gems back and forth. I mean, both of them are comedians anyway, but you never would expect Katt Williams to be as smart as he is. A lot of people like to say, call people crazy. But you know what? That's dismissive. We ain't doing that over here on Dude and Them Discussions. Cause we praising Katt Williams right now. No. Not like we praising him like God, but we just praising him as a man. Yeah. We respect him as a man. And also Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock went so far to say that Katt Williams is needed in our society right now because he is waking a lot of people up. Now we got the footage of Jason Whitlock. I'm gonna get right to that. But first, I would love y'all to smash that like button before we get any further. Now let's get into it, and I'll give y'all my commentary in the end.
And his interview with Joe Rogan. Katt Williams is turning into one of the most important voices in America. And I just wouldn't have seen that coming, but I should have seen it coming. I want you guys to walk back, remember what I said about the foundation of this show. For those of you that are what we call day ones, any of you day one fearless people, if you remember what this show was founded on, the belief that two groups of people have failed the American public: ministers and comedians. Remember, I said that. Ministers and comedians. And that part of the founding of this show was about being a support, a tool, necessary encouragement for ministers and comedians to stand up and do their jobs and play their role in protecting American freedoms, such as free speech. I said from the very beginning, that's why Uncle Jimmy was a part of the founding of the show. He was supposed to add a comedic element to this show that we'd have fun with. And that I was going to basically play the role of Barnabas, an asset to the disciples, try to create content that ministers, believers, entertainment, people interested in the entertainment industry could watch our content and not see all of their values stomped on, spit upon, defiled. I wanted this show to be like, well, if you're a Christian family, a Christian minister, you could recommend to people in your family, people in your congregation, hey, you should watch Fearless with Jason Whitlock. They talk about sports world, the entertainment world, politics in a way that is friendly to people that have our beliefs. I want it to be, and I want this show to be, an asset for ministers. And I also want it to be putting pressure on ministers to stand up and stand on truth. And the comedic part was about just, we needed a place where we could laugh and have real conversations, because that's what comedians do. If a society is working properly, ministers stand in pulpits and talk about really uncomfortable things from a biblical perspective, which creates the room for the rest of the society to participate in uncomfortable conversations. And then comedians play a similar role. They crack jokes and use irony and humor to point out the insanity of the society. And so when ministers and comedians are doing their job, when they're not being politically correct, when they're not playing by the rules of the regime, of the establishment. They're creating space for all of us to talk about the things we really need to talk about. And so when the society says, hey, you know what? It's off limits to talk about George Floyd and his background. We've decided can't do it. Ministers should rush to the pulpit and tell the truth about George Floyd, and comedians should rush to the stage and crack jokes about the truth about George Floyd. That gives everybody else the room to have a authentic conversation about George Floyd, about police officers and black unarmed criminals that resist arrest. See, if ministers and comedians were doing their jobs and doing what they were supposed to do from the pulpit and from the stage, we could have real conversations about what's really going on. And so Katt Williams is a comedian doing exactly that. And he's combining both elements. The comic element and the spiritual element. He's forcing us to have real conversations about what's really going on in American society. I wish he didn't cuss as much as he did. I wish he didn't use the N-word, but those are all just minor complaints. This dude is leading us in a conversation we need to have. And I say that I thought it was great what he did on Shannon Sharp's show, but I think it's even better what he just did on Joe Rogan's show, because Joe Rogan's also a comedian and Joe Rogan's also very smart, just like Katt Williams. And so they could have a different conversation than what Katt and Shannon Sharp were having. And I'm not saying that Shannon Sharp is stupid. What I'm saying is Shannon Sharp can't have the conversation that Katt Williams really wants to have and that he's promoting, but Joe Rogan can. And so I want to play this clip of Katt talking about transgenderism. This is amazing, and it opens up the room for all the rest of us to finally have this conversation. Play the clip.
Propaganda in Hollywood movies is built into the ingredients list. It's like, if you want flour, you need wheat. You're gonna have to get the wheat. And if you want to be able to make movies about certain subjects, you have to be willing to work with some people that, you know, it would be nice if you made it so that this is what we're trying to accomplish, and this is showing the negative side of this other society, and this is and this is our hero. This is our hero who's going to go do America's bidding and go over there, and you're like, okay. And those movies are successful, and so they continue this relationship, and you become a bit of a propaganda arm for the government, and in turn they don't you.
Right. But that's what makes information so powerful, is, you know, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about, does following the ritual work? Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses, and everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is. So 20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things will become popular in the future. And that somehow calling people the goat would be normalized over the sheep being always the most popular reference.
Why is that important? And many of you know that it is. But here's a comedian who's a believer, Katt Williams, talking to another comedian who is either has been an atheist or agnostic. And he's talking to him about like the satanic energy that is overtaking global culture and American culture and certainly Hollywood culture. And so he's engaged Joe Rogan in a spiritual conversation. If you've been following this show for the last 3 years, if you've been following my work for the last 7-8 years, that's what I've been talking about. If you remember when Tucker Carlson was on Fox News, and the last 5 years he was on Fox News, I would always come on talking about like, no, there's a spiritual war going on here. This is a battle of good versus evil. And they've changed up my Wikipedia page now to mention that like Whitlock has said that a lot of what liberalism or the left does is satanic. I'm known for that. And I've been trying to push this conversation to get people to understand what's going on here. We're not in a political war. We're in a spiritual war. And to see Katt Williams, a comedian, leading this conversation, and to see Joe Rogan open to this conversation, it gives me hope that there's an awakening going on. And so early in February,
as far as we can see, you guys, you could definitely see that Katt Williams is built different. He's not like the rest of these comedians. He don't do it for the industry. He don't do it for none of that. Katt Williams is his own person, his own man, and what he believes in, and he stands on it. Katt Williams believes what he believes, and he stands on it, man. I respect a man that follows his own path and do what he want to do. You know what I mean? He's not obligated to do the things that the industry want him to do. He do what he want to do, and whether he lose out on a lot of money, a lot of movie roles, a lot of movie deals, he still respect himself because he stand on his own business. He stand for something. And over here on Dude Them Discussions, we can definitely rock with that. We rock with Katt Williams. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really do like this man. And I also respect Jason Whitlock's take on it. I mean, whether you believe, I can't even talk. But whether you like Jason Whitlock or not, sometimes he do be telling the truth though. Yeah. I guess this 2024 year, 2024, this the year of just telling the truth and everybody being spiritually awakening. That's what I think. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Make sure you let us know what y'all think in the comment box below. And you already know what time it is. If it's your first time to the channel, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe on your way out. This Dude Them in the building. We'll see you guys on the next one. Yeah.